One of the questions that come up a lot in business law is, what do people miss in their LLC agreements? And so one thing people miss when they're forming LLCs is just to have an LLC agreement. Most states want you to file a certificate of formation or articles of organization, whatever it may be called in the state. And a lot of LLC folks get that right. Obviously, you need that to get a state file number, to get a stamp, to eventually get your EIN from the IRS. So most people don't miss the idea of filing a certificate of formation with the state. But then if you look at a lot of state LLC acts, they contemplate having an operating agreement or an LLC agreement, whatever you may call it. And a lot of people don't read into that. They make the filing with the state of the public certificate of formation, articles of organization, whatever the case may be, but they don't do the private, unpublished, unfiled LLC agreement, which is ultimately contemplated by many LLC acts. And so what happens is, if you don't have that agreement, you may not be fully formed, or you may be deemed to have an oral agreement. And that means an agreement among the owners that was agreed but not written down, an unwritten contract. And of course, the problem with unwritten contracts is the evidentiary issue, right? What did you agree to that you didn't write down? It becomes a battle of maybe emails, of recollections, of people's beliefs about what was said in verbal conversations. You can see how that can lead to a lot of disagreement, particularly in the future if you're in a situation where you perhaps have a multi-owner LLC and the owners disagree about what was said or what was agreed to. And you can see our other videos here on the channel about multi-owner LLCs and why they are so complex. So that is one thing a lot of people forget. Once you form the LLC, of course, you want to put a lot of basic provisions in there about how the business is owned, how it's operated, how votes happen. And then importantly, a big thing that's missed in the multi-owner context a lot of times is provisions for deadlocks. What happens if the owners disagree about the future of the business? And it's not something a lot of people want to think about when they're first forming your business. You're forming your business, you're happy, you think everything's going to go great. You're not usually going to spend a lot of time and attention on talking about disagreements, deadlocks, and issues. But in reality, it's something that's very important for you to work through. You need to understand and have a process in place, and that's something that's often forgotten. Also, sometimes things are forgotten around loans and third-party rights. There are some beneficial provisions which can often be added to the LLC agreement to make it harder for creditors to attack the assets. So all of this pointing to the fact that if you have an LLC and you formed it and you didn't really think hard about that LLC agreement, it's a great time to get in and visit your lawyer, talk to them about these issues, tell them where you're at, and then get them to help you build something that's not only going to protect you now, but potentially help cover yourself from the past and get you ready to move forward. If you have questions, feel free to comment below, but understand that anything you comment here on YouTube is not confidential. There's a public forum, so if you have general questions, things you might want to suggest for a future video or clarifications, feel free to comment below. We do read the comments, and I like interacting with audience members there, so feel free to jump in. Maybe we can write back and forth, but understand that the confidentiality is not protected. You'll find lots of other videos here on this channel about business and business law, so I do welcome you to check that out and comment to those videos as well. I'm looking forward to seeing you for another video soon. I hope you subscribe to the channel.